The rainforest accounts for nearly 2% of the Earth's total surface area. It is a biodiverse ecosystem that is heavily populated, with almost 50% of the world's plants and animals. It is a biome that has very high humidity and irregular rainfall. The forest is heavily dense with trees which block out nearly 95% of the sunlight. The plants and animals are highly adapted to the treacherous terrain and have evolved beneficial adaptations that notably improve their chances of survival. The tropical rainforest has a warm climate that consists of a yearly temperature average ranging from 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. The annual rainfall is approximately 200 to 1,000 centimeters per year. With the combination of the intense heat and rainfall, the humidity reaches about 77% to 88% year-round. Sunlight is present at the forest floor, therefore the plants are adapted to a limited amount of light being present. The lack of sunlight is due to the dense population of trees that block and absorb most of the sunlight. There are multiple layers, which include the emergent layer, the canopy layer, the under-canopy layer, and the forest floor. The soil is relatively poor in nutrients, and the nutrients are in a form that is inaccessible by plants. Animals that are a part of this biodiverse ecosystem include Lemur kata, Bradypus torquatus, Myrmecopaga, Triactyla, and Opaga granulifera. Plants present in the tropical rainforest include Aberus pectorius, Annona muricata, Plumeria rubra, Carica papaya, Begonia alacai. The protists and bacteria that are present in the tropical rainforest include Testate amboe and Escherichia coli. In order to adapt to the environment, many organisms developed relationships with other organisms. For example, a species of ant called the leafcutter ants have established a mutualist relationship with fungi in which one would not be able to survive without the other. The ants protect the fungi from pests and feed it leaves, and in return, the fungi protects the ant's larvae and feed the ant's offspring. There are abundant resources in the rainforest, therefore there is not a lot of competition. However, the old trees block most of the sunlight, and the plants on the forest floor are unable to get the nutrients and sunlight necessary. The food web, like in any biome, includes autotrophs, heterotrophs, and decomposers. It gives an example as to how the energy is passed through an ecosystem. The autotrophs depicted in the picture include the green plants and other organisms that produce their own food, and the heterotrophs include the sloth, tapir, toucan, agouti, monarch butterfly, and etc. In the Amazon, 50 to 80% of moisture remains in the ecosystem's water cycle. When the heavy rain falls in the rainforest, it is intercepted by the trees, or it falls to the ground. The plants take in the water and then it soon evaporates, repeating the cycle all over again. The nutrient cycle starts with the nutrients in the soil. The trees take up the nutrients and the trees grow rapidly. As the trees shed all year round, their leaves fall to the ground and begin to decay. The nutrients in the decomposing leaves then transfer the soil, where the cycle will repeat itself. The phosphorus cycle begins in the rocks, where it is then transported to the soil through weathering. The plants then take up the phosphate ions from the soil, and when the plants are consumed, the phosphate then moves through the food web until an animal excretes waste or decays. The nitrogen cycle is vital for all plants and animals. There is a large amount of nitrogen in the atmosphere, but it is in a chemical form that is unusable by plants. In order for it to be usable, the nitrogen has to be converted by microorganisms. The nitrogen is then transferred back to the soil after the plant decays. However, if an herbivore consumes the plant, the nitrogen will be passed through the waste or after the animal decomposes. Carbon is an essential element in life. It is required for photosynthesis and cellular respiration. It cycles through ecosystems in a process called the carbon cycle. The cycle begins with the plants absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The carbon is used to form the organic bodies of plants, while the oxygen is released back into the atmosphere. When the plant respires, decays, or is burned, carbon is returned to the atmosphere and the cycle repeats itself. The carbon can be transferred to the bodies of animals when consumed, then passed through the food chain until it reaches the top predator. Once the top predator dies, the carbon is then released. The desert has a very dry climate, and there is very little rainfall, unlike the tropical rainforest. The annual rainfall is approximately 15 to 26 centimeters. It is very hot during the day and very cold during the night. Hot and dry desert temperatures range from 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. The extreme maximum temperature for hot desert ranges from 43.5 to 49 degrees Celsius. Cold desert temperatures in winter range from -2 to 4 degrees Celsius, and in the summer 21 to 26 degrees Celsius a year. The deciduous forest is located in the polar region of the tropics. Unlike the tropical rainforest, the cold and warm polar regions of the deciduous forest influence the climate and cause the four seasons to occur. The average temperature in temperate deciduous forests is about 24 degrees Celsius, but gets as high as 30 degrees Celsius, depending on the altitude of the forest. Forests higher in the mountains are colder. Deciduous forests receive from 61 to 152 centimeters of precipitation each year. Humidity in these forests is high, similar to that of the rainforest, from 60% to 80%. Unlike the tropical rainforest, the tundra has an extremely cold climate and lacks vegetation, hence the low biotic diversity in the biome. The Arctic is known for its cold, desert-like conditions. The average winter temperature is -34 degrees Celsius, but the average summer temperature is 3 to 12 degrees Celsius. Rainfall may vary in different regions of the Arctic. Yearly precipitation is 15 to 25 centimeters. The tundra soil contains a permanently frozen subsoil called permafrost.